Okay, so you're talking about BTC.
Sure.
I won't even call that Bitcoin.
Okay, why is that?
Because when I invented Bitcoin back in 2008, 2009, I released it.
That's,
Yes,
I mean,
I
you
released
have
Satoshi.
I am, I've said that already, I'm going to court about that one. The whole idea was about micropayments. It's about a system that enables commercial internet use.
Yeah.
It enables you to have rapid, fast settlement, secure systems, many other things. It was never a store of gold. The other camp, the people, the cypherpunks and whatever else, they're the guys who want this to be something else. They want it to be a store of value, they want it to be outside government, but that's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't work outside government. It's an immutable evidence trail. You can't actually get around that fact.
I want to go back to this idea that you created Bitcoin, or you were on the team that helped create Bitcoin.
There wasn't a team.
Well, a lot of people are skeptical of that
I know.
claim. What do you have to say to those skeptics?
It's very simple. We actually are doing it the original way that I'd planned to have Bitcoin. I haven't gone through all the changes that Core are making to do things such as getting rid of signatures, SegWit, trying to make it off-chain. If you look at the early days, it wasn't, I mean, the people arguing that it needed to do this were people like James Donald and others. The people I fought with when I was Satoshi that said Bitcoin needs to be different, Bitcoin won't work. Because I didn't ever see it as every home user running a node. Now let's think about that for a minute. Imagine 1 billion people, 1 billion families running home nodes. Imagine 1 second block times.
Yeah.
You're still talking nearly 1,000 years on average to win a block. Think, game theoretically, who's going to invest money in that? You're going to cheat. You're going to actually sit there and expect everyone else to. It's a typical tragedy of the commons problem. You're going to sit there waiting for someone else to actually solve a block, and you're never going to invest. And when I said it goes into server farms, when I said it commercializes, when professional miners come into the game, I actually intended that.
Yeah.
Because imagine a group of companies. It's not anti-business, it's actually pro-business. Because imagine a whole pile of brokers here.
Right.
If one broker finds an error that another broker has and they can make a slight profit, they will stab the guy in the back to make that profit. And that's the whole notion of 2016 blocks every 2 weeks. It's a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
If you orphan someone else's block because of an error, then you take their block and you make more money.
Jimmy, I want to bring you into this as well. When you think about the recent slide that we've been watching, I want to give you a chance to respond to that as well. What do you make of it, and how can we ensure that for users, for even people who are looking at Bitcoin as more than a store of value, a currency in the future, how do we ensure that we get to that place?
Sure. The fundamental problem with all cryptocurrencies now is they're not really used, right? For something to have true value that's stable, it needs real utility. And what happened with BTC is that its blockchain got crippled in size with small blocks, 1 megabyte in size instead of scaling big, so you can't really use it. And people don't really use BTC. They buy on exchange and hold. And that's true of all the other
so
cryptocurrencies.
they use it as an
trade,
asset rather than as a currency.
Whereas
not to buy and sell
Bitcoin,
goods.
the original Satoshi white paper, foresaw a system that was peer-to-peer electronic cash, not a peer-to-peer electronic store of value. So to create real utility, what we're doing on the BSV, Bitcoin SV blockchain, which is restoring the original protocol, is scaling big. We were at 128 megabyte blocks. Now we're at a block cap of 2 gigabytes, 2,000 megabytes, and going to much larger unlimited block caps next year to enable a world of microtransactions, micropayments, so that businesses use it and consumers use it, and it actually has organic value. That's what would stop slides that go up and down as we've seen in the crypto markets, because if we're really honest, the BTC price, like all the other cryptocurrency prices, isn't really explained by anything. And so we are creating a world where we see already on BSV business applications for Internet of Things communications, supply chain management, payments network, social media, entertainment and media services on BSV.
Right.
That's all starting, and our vision is to create real utility, therefore leading to real, more stable value.
You guys obviously know each other. Do you believe that Craig is Satoshi?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, well, I want to hit on that because obviously there is a lot of interest around this, Craig. But
we also think it doesn't matter for why people should support Bitcoin SV. They support it because it is the superior, original Bitcoin technology vision.
Okay, fair point. But you have been adamant that you are the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. The crypto community,
lately. I didn't actually start there. But the crypto community are the opposite of what Bitcoin's about. They're a bunch of cypherpunks who want anti-government.
Okay. Well,
Bitcoin
I just
was
want to get
never
to
anti-government.
right. So Jonathan Warren, who's the developer of BitMessage, he testified in a pretrial examination that messages that proved you created Bitcoin were likely faked. What is your response to that?
Well, he also mentioned how he didn't release it till after the date, but what he forgot to mention was he actually did release it earlier, and the GitHub pages that are archived showed that. What he didn't want to go into court and say was a month before that, when he announced it was on Silk Road forums. So he didn't announce in court because he didn't want to point out that he had actually been moving people on Silk Road over to BitMessage.
Okay, so why is it so important to you to prove that you're Satoshi? What added value does it bring?
To me, probably a lot of downside, actually.
So why embrace that role?
Because it's the right thing. I mean, Family Trust owns BTC, and that will probably go down in value significantly. So I'm actually probably going to lose a lot of money in real terms because of this. So the reality is, but it's the right thing to do. I want to see my original version of Bitcoin, the vision that I had, not just some store of gold. I actually worked on this to create more. I wanted to actually have a commercial internet. I mean, from the 90s, I've been working on this concept. And to do that, you need micropayments. I mean, right now, the problem with the internet, problem with Twitter, problem with everything out of Silicon Valley, it's all free. And you know what happens when you give something for free? It's absolutely crud. And that's what we see now, fake news. We see Sybils on Twitter. The whole concept of stopping Sybils. I mean, you think of things like Twitch. Twitch is a alternative to Twitter now that is experimental but coming out, and you pay.
Owned by Amazon.
No, you're talking about Twitch. It's an app on BSV. It's almost like Twitter on
different
Bitcoin
Twitch.
SV, where you actually have to pay a small amount of BSV to make a post. Therefore, it eliminates bot accounts.
That won't be confusing.
But then you actually reply. When you reply or people like your post, you get rewarded in BSV.
Yeah.
So it's a way to both earn and use BSV.
And when you talk micropayments, you can start doing that. So instead of having a like on Facebook that means nothing, and you're selling your data, you're actually selling money. If you want to try and have bot armies, it costs a lot of money, but an individual costs